P3, we get into lines. So think back to Algebra 2. We talked about all kinds of different ways to write a linear and how you guys solve linears and work with them. So one of the first thing about a linear equation, the line, is that it has a constant slope, right? It's straight. And so when you talk about slope, there's a formula over there for slope. Our textbook, everything is pretty traditional. I have no idea how M ever came to represent slope. But it uses M, okay? It really should be S, but I suppose it gets confused with numbers, you know, like i's and stuff. Anyway, so we're going to calculate the slope, and remember, this is similar to the distance formula. What you call the first point may not be what I call the first point. So as you do this, you and your study buddies may switch the points around, like somebody, you know, point 1, point 2, but you just stay in the same order. You subtract in the same order. So in other words, if this is point 1, you might put, you know, and it's always y to the sky, so you might go 3 minus negative 2, subtracting the two y values, 4 minus negative 6. Somebody else might do negative 2 minus 3, negative 6 minus 4, just reversing it. So in the beginning, they look different. This turns out to be 5 over 10, which is 1/2. This one turns out to be negative 5 over negative 10, right? But that also is, 1/2. So you do get the same answer if you reverse your points. Do B, C, and D with somebody sitting near you.
Is that type 1 D?
Yeah, because it's a decimal, not a comma.
Yeah, comma. Thank you.
So zero. I mean, meter.
What's the slope for B?
2.
C?
0.
No slope.
C. Get to it.
Yeah, vertical lines.
There's a difference between saying 0 or no slope. What is it?
No slope.
0.
Okay.
I don't know.
0?
Yup, that's what I wrote.
What kind of line is it?
Oh, it's no slope.
Horizontal.
The y values are the same. So this is horizontal. The slope is 0. There is no slope on a horizontal line. When we get to the vertical, what do we say?
0.
To the clearest answer is probably to say undefined. But here there's no slope, we would say, because vertical, there's no way to measure vertical. Slopes increase, the number gets larger and larger and larger and larger the more straight up and down it gets. So is there some sort of largest number? You know, once we reach 1,000,000 for slope, that means it's vertical? No. So that's why it's undefined. You can never measure. And then also, if you're doing this, your x values on the bottom are 0, and you cannot divide by 0. So there's some information in this box.
If we write it as a 0, but question through it.
I don't know what that means. Undefined. Ooh, I would not like that. That does not mean undefined.
So simply, whenever the x's are the same, it's going to be undefined, and whenever the y's are the same, it's going to be horizontal.
Yes, anytime you
Which
can.
means there's no slope in either.
Well, there's a difference between saying no slope and 0 slope. 0 slope does indicate 0 slope. Yeah, so you got horizontal lines. If you can shortcut things by saying exactly what you said, my x values are the same, therefore this thing is a vertical, undefined. My y values are the same, I know it's horizontal then, 0 slope. And that's what this thing is saying, a line with positive slope rises left to right, you know, going this way. Left to right, falls from left to right, going this way. Horizontal, do you guys have the vertical on your packets? No? When M is undefined, you just want to write down it's vertical, undefined, vertical. Remember, horizontal goes this way, vertical goes this way, up and down. Okay? So that's just a little bit of reminder, one, how to calculate slope, but also get you thinking about the different lines you can run into. I think this stuff gets, this is where we get a little bit confusing for you guys because we have a textbook, Algebra 2 textbook, does teach the point slope form slightly different.
Wait, this is all we're gonna test on today.
All they're doing is taking that y value to the other side. The reason why they do that is because that textbook claims that you're done. I, as a teacher, as a math person, tend to think you should simplify whenever you can. So leaving something in this form makes the next person who comes along, they have to, do some distribution and some simplifying on their own to get it into kind of what I would call a standard form. So I do not like it unless I specifically ask you to. Do not leave it in point slope form. So because we're never going to leave it here unless I ask you to, it doesn't matter which one you start with. Okay? But the only difference is there. I think the reason why this one makes more sense and why I like it is because I write y minus my solution point, and I write x minus my solution point, and I don't have to sit there and memorize as if x, am I subtracting the x or am I subtracting the y? In the original one, old school one, you are subtracting both your solution points. Make sense? And it'll take you a whole nanosecond to take the y value to the other side if you like it that way. So, here's how it works. I'm asking you to write an equation of a line through a point, SP, solution point. So we're giving you the solution point and the slope. So I would go like this. Y minus -1, -2, x minus 3. I'm simply taking the y value of my solution point and saying y minus that value. Taking the x value of the solution point, saying x minus that value. Put slope in front of the parentheses. I want you to write it in slope-intercept form every time. So, this would be y plus 1, -2x plus 6. Remember what this is called distribution. We're going to take -2 times both things in parentheses, multiplying a double negative is positive. Then I will subtract 1 on both sides. And that is what we call slope-intercept form. You have the slope and the intercept right there.